What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Arsenal rebuild in Football Manager 2022. It is an exciting time, always, with the youth intake. Funnily enough, this happened a couple times during my other series, Journeyman. Yep, we had a youth intake in the last episode. Then this one, youth intake time. So it's been quite a few days. It's been over a week since I uploaded an episode in this series, simply because quite a bit to play through. And if you've been a regular watcher of my videos, you know I haven't been feeling the best of late. As much as I have been recovering, basically just having less computer time, so playing through FM saves, which I like to micromanage a lot. So that takes its time. I hadn't been honestly playing more than an hour each day. And that's probably on my limit that I should be doing. So so you guys know that situation. But something else, Arsenal get great intakes. Like, look at the excellent intake. They've got a great setup. You just need to go check. You see their facilities all generally pretty good, where you probably think you could still improve it a little bit. Take nothing but 5 stars, right? We'll talk about our results soon, but most definitely with Arsenal, you tend to get pretty good intakes, but let's go through it. So in the overview, Andre Willoughby is the only one that shows as a first team candidate, which is interesting. So because generally there's going to be quite a few here, we'll take a look and then we'll see. So these are the guys we're going to get excited for. Yeah, these guys here, they're the ones, and I like how they're all different positions. We got a right winger, we got a centre mid, we got a left winger. Looks like he can play striker as well. And that Andre Willoughby, he's the one that was noted. I guess he's got the highest current ability, so it's not surprised that first team candidate popped in there. And then Leroy, he looks like he's like a centre back, can play all in the back four, which is when you got a guy with high potential with that, that's very handy. Let's Andre. He seems to be the one that is all those potentials are pretty strong. So he's just got a really solid starting level. His current ability. He doesn't look like he has too many weaknesses for his role, so he'll develop pretty well. And in terms of offering the contracts, I'll let you know if I offer the contracts. Offer a contract to a player instead of going all individually, because there's so many players to go through. And going through that process for youth players, contracts are relatively straightforward. But he's definitely getting a deal. But he looks like another description of what I just said, a straightforward. Looks like a straightforward winger. And I think the standout thing is he's strong on both feet, or very strong on his right, but his weaker foot left, he's strong. So you're not going to hesitate using him as an inside forward. And then he's in the elite talents, Ryan Donnelly, but he has the lowest current ability of them. Let's see, as a centre midfielder, oh my god, you're clearly missing the mental attributes then. I can see, though, has very poor natural fitness, which that's been a criticism for me. I've always said, like, some regions, like, their attributes don't line up. Generally, like, I don't know, maybe it's possible someone who has bad natural fitness, that's, like, very bad. When it's 5 or lower, that's extreme, because you don't see it that low too often. But the fact he has high teamwork and work rate, like a low determination, that kills him. But because his potential is so high, you sign him up, because he's still going to develop to being like a solid player, but maybe not as good as the other guys. Yeah, that is a really strange mix of a few mental attributes and the natural fitness. Maybe, you could have differing opinions if they do actually link up, and it's not a thing that, say if he has good work rate and teamwork, it doesn't mean he should have good natural fitness. But I think the work rate, really puts that to me. And the determination being that low, but just in general for a high potential player as well. Yeah, it's quite strange. He definitely gets a contract though. And actually here, Dwayne, he's got the actual highest potential, that 5-star. So intrigued to see what his current ability is looking like. And again, he's natural as a striker, so let's focus on that. But you could probably see maybe his finishing's a bit lower, I think that current ability maybe could be a 2-star, and he could vie with being actually one of the best or the best player in this intake. I think that low finishing, you'd say it's low, 7. It'll be average when he develops and he's at his best, but maybe as a left winger, he could be the best because his right foot only reasonable. You can train him on that, so he could be good as an inside forward, but if you look at him as a left winger, you work on his crossing as well as dribbling. He's got a very strong mix of mentals and physical, especially in terms of his pace. He's got good natural fitness. I mean, his pace is only 13, but I mean, acceleration, those two together, not bad. Yeah, he looks really good, actually. Very impressed with him. And he's only 15, doesn't turn 16 to April in next year. Like, that's over a year. Yeah. So pretty happy. And then Leroy, Zimbabwean. Oh, Zimbabwe would love Arsenal. Would love Arsenal if we, uncover like a world-class player. And like he'll be a guy that plays like over 100, has over 100 caps for him and that kind of stuff. But yeah, high bravery. I really like the look of him, his defensive ability. The fact he's a centre-back naturally. Yeah, I noticed he had some lower mentals, but I like that he doesn't have too many of those weaker attributes that are highlighted, in his respective positions. A low dribbling, probably not going to be the most attacking fullback. Yeah, he's probably going to be a centre-back that can play a defensive fullback role when you need him. I like those types as well. That brings some versatility to your team. So, yeah, those 4 quite easily, get deals. Then we only have 3 in the top talents here, which we'll take a look. Still a 1-star current ability. A Jamaican, I thought he was. But nah, he's got a bit of mix in his attributes. He doesn't look like a superstar. He'll still get a contract. And he's not bad. He's not bad, but I don't think he's got star quality if we're looking at that potential there. I like a bit of mix in his attributes, or more so positions, but he definitely has a mix of attributes, doesn't he? But you could. I like those. You can get a hand as a manager in terms of what position you want to develop him into. So I like that kind of project when I see, positions like this in a, intake player, and pick where we want to develop him. On the wing, attacking midfield, or a more defensive type. It's a mix at the moment, like his attributes, as we said. Then here, Richard, he's Finnish. Yeah, we've got a mix of nationalities here, which I really like. He's Finnish he's got 4 finishing, so I'm not sure about that. From Finland. Okay, what are we looking at? Centre-back highlighted. Very mixed in his attributes. He's another one. And this is not necessarily mixed in a good way. This is like, okay, he's got some bad attributes that I don't like. I don't know where we fit him. You take a look at centre-back. Heading and marking, only 7. You could say train those heavy, but positioning's only 5. Then you take a look, maybe centre mid, but then his passing is 6. Still get a contract. I think overall, that potential will be, again, it depends. I like a minimum of saying 3-star. I've said that before in terms of giving players contracts because they've got enough level of development in them, the way I see it. Richard Clifford. He's that level as well, so we'll give him a contract, but it really depends how he's looking, and I really do like his attributes. Dribbling, again, I like those 3 right there. He's a left foot. He's another one that could be maybe better as a winger. You can't see him as an inside forward with a right foot being weak. So I like his attributes. Looks pretty strong. Playing as a striker, again, it depends how he develops with that finishing, composure, those other attributes there. He could still be a good striker, seeing what role he'll suit best in. Obviously, strikers can be very versatile. There's a lot of different potential roles you could turn into a player, or just be using in your formation, obviously, and. Yeah, that's the good thing about having a young star with potential in a striker position. He's definitely got hope, because then he could be on the wing as well. You think attacking midfield, you might start to think about that. It might not be the worst. Decisions, mental attributes will grow as they get older, but Richard, he's definitely got a few potential roles in the team. Okay. Then we start to go to the good talents, and this is where we'll probably get through them a bit quicker, be more a yes or a no. Wayne Dennis, again, he's just below that 3-star. He probably won't get a deal right now. That's just going to be the way we're going to go with that. I don't see, if we don't see them being in the team, at some point, or good enough to get a reasonable amount of money for at a level of Arsenal. Yeah, it really depends because we have got a few players that will be under 23s, under 18s. Then we look at Benjamin here. He is a centre midfielder, quite low in his attributes. Again, he is that 3-star, but that's where we put in. Yeah, he's got too many lower attributes. Not sure the way you see him, but yeah, that's how I'm looking at him. Too many lower attributes that would, like, when they're 4s and 5s and like a 6. I think there's too many that are not maybe 7 and above. That's the way I see him. So unless they get some feedback from our coaches, I probably am not looking to give him a deal, Benjamin. So, okay, Dylan, let's take a look. 1 star. Yes, determination, flair being that high gets him over the line. Some physicals that need to be worked on. But the fact his passing's that good, teamwork, vision, yeah, see how he's got enough about him. And his weaker attributes as a central player, crossing, not going to matter too much. Free kick taking, if he's not taking free kicks, doesn't matter. Long throws, if he's not taking long throws, so you could cancel those out. So yeah, he's not bad. He gets a contract. I didn't want to say definitely. He's not a superstar, but yeah, good enough. Dylan, that's for sure. Oliver, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Oliver here. He's a bit weak. He's a bit weak, admittedly, but he's got a few decent, some mentals there that are good enough. So just passable. He's probably not going to be a superstar, but as I said, okay, Anoja, another defensive player. Again, left back highlighted, and centre back is the natural position. He's 186 centimeters, high teamwork. I think that's going to help him in his early days, and yeah, he gets a contract. I think for the fact that's good for the work rate. Again, this is my logic. I'm not sure if it's a true logic or not, but I like high rating teamwork just for players in general. I probably wouldn't sign a player in the first team to be a starter if they just have good teamwork and they're not really that good elsewhere. But definitely in the youth team, that's my personal opinion. That especially when they're leadership, I think leadership that's decent. A 12 is decent for a 15-year-old that's going to be in the under 18s. Where other players can feed off his teamwork levels. I'm just big on that. That just in general, like in real life as well. If you got players that are working really hard, and his work rate as well, 14, teamwork. Those generally go together. Again, we're talking about attributes that should be good. It'll be strange to see work rate low and teamwork high. But I think it's the overall level for that team. I say not for the squad. I mean, under 18s, under 23s. Teamwork is so important. Teamwork and work rate. Value it highly, not just for the individual player, but how it impacts the other guys. And then Clinton, another defensive player. We've got a right back there. Good bravery, determination is solid. He's unambitious. Which is pretty strange when good determination and then work rate and teamwork is pretty good. I might sneak him a contract. Very brave. Good natural fitness. Good. I like to look at all good attributes. Like if those attributes were like a technical, it would be ranting and raving about him. So we want to point out the positives he does have to his game and not discard him because okay, those attributes he hasn't got too many great technicals like that. But yeah, having 2 attributes that are 16 at that age, again, a 15-year-old, it's a standout, surely. So those were he was the last of the good talents. And now, decent, okay, just 3 of these guys. We generally don't have too much hope, but oh my God, how often does it happen where I don't agree, man? Maybe he doesn't have the greatest potential in him, but don't be surprised if he does become a better player than what that potential suggests. Or as we progress, his potential maybe pushes to 3-star or something. Because look at their balance in mentals and technicals aren't the worst for this stage in the youth intake we're at. Yeah, he'll get a deal. Paul, okay, Billy Roberts. Generally, it's not them all. Like, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in these 2 guys. He's not going to make it. But I don't think you could partner those 2 in the same as decent talent. I don't think Billy's decent. I think they need to put a lower description. Like they don't want to be mean, I guess. They want to say, yeah, you're decent, mate. Or lads, like, yeah, 3 of you, there's not only 1 player in there, but anyway, Nathan Payne. Yeah, mate, like, I think with that many ones, he'd give you some pain. Like, how do those things link up so well? How do you have that many ones? Bro, I'm sorry, but he clearly has another career path than football. That's just too many. That's non-league stuff. And barely that. That's like the extended leagues that aren't playable in the game. Yeah. That you have to download to be able to play them. They've got all the 1s and 2s. But anyway, so it's more so for, the guys that love playing football and they just play. They're not that good, but they just play. He's almost that level. He's a bit determined, good natural fitness. Again, as I said, probably gets him at that level at a minimum, with potential to play at the Vanarama level. Not much outside of that. So, as I said, we'll go individually and offer those guys contracts. But the form since January has been really interesting. We've got some negative results in Newcastle, which obviously Newcastle start to improve their team. Knocked out against Southampton. Obviously, the title in the last episode was Southampton top 4. You'll see how the table's looking now. But then we got a win against Manchester City. You can see a kind of result we preference there. It's like this season definitely about getting back into Europe for Arsenal, hopefully Champions League. Manchester United, it was a disappointing result. Away from home was always going to be tough, in FM at least. Maybe a bit easier to beat them in real life. Then a win against Crystal Palace there. Chelsea, again, it was away. It was a tight game, really. Lukaku showed his strength in scoring. And then we beat Southampton. So just now. Show you the result, though. That was important. Like, you wouldn't think saying, in March, that a game against Southampton to get in top 4 is important, but they've been slowly dropping. It's been slowly but steady progression. It's been thankful that Chelsea, I can't say Chelsea have been that bad. They got 27. They got a couple games in hand on us and a few other teams, so keep that in mind. But if you look at the points difference, we're still ahead. But what I was thinking, look at Tottenham. Look how low they're nowhere near where they should be. Like, probably around 7th, 8th, or 9th. Tottenham. But, probably not too high above that. But, yeah, Lacazette. I know there was maybe some thoughts if he should have kept him on for another season or not. But if anything, I think because we offered him a new deal. And, yeah, that was maybe the question if we should do that. But he's got goal scoring form. Like, if you take a look, he's been a goal scorer this season. So yeah, I'm happy with giving him that deal, because the alternative was letting him go on a free transfer, and I wasn't having that. And he was playing well, training well. He's not going backwards. He's hit that 30 years of age, and there's no arrows going down. He's doing really well on the pitch and on the training ground as well. I'm really happy. With Alex. He's been great, and maybe a bit of a surprise in my voice. I'm confident in doing that for another season. Maybe he's not part of the rebuild. We need a good striker coming through, and we'll get on that kind of, or signings. We didn't want to. We couldn't really spend too much on approach to sign, but in terms of free transfers, I like where we are though. As I said, there's going to be a bit of I guess if Everton, but I say, it's Everton. Calvert-Lewin is doing really well. Ronaldo's up there, but overall, I think it looks, we're in a very good position where 4th should be the minimum we are. Surely Southampton and Everton start to drop a bit lower, but I notice in FM when teams, they start, Southampton and Everton should be getting, for the rest of the season, they should be playing how they've been all season. It's generally how it happens. Just the way it is. They'll pick up some points. I'll be shocked if they don't. Generally keep up this form. You won't see them losing too many games. But yeah, generally how is the FM season? That's why they've been consistent, Southampton. I can't believe it. We're studying Southampton in a save, but I guess, yeah, they had a poor month of January, but then they got back to the form. FM's like, hold up, they're having a good season. And now they got back to, look at that run there of being unbeaten. And, they came up to a heavyweight. It came up to us to end that unbeaten run. And, if they had another team, and look, they're coming up against Everton. Oh, that's in the cup, though, FA Cup. But you know what I mean? Yeah, generally they stay steady on a run if they've, started pretty well. They've got good facilities as well, Southampton, so they've got that in place. But funnily enough, it's someone from Marseille, and Guendouzi, he's gone. I don't know, say I always liked him, but I don't get too personally involved with Arsenal players, but I think he's a decent player. I've kind of followed him like before he signed for Arsenal, like at Lorient in France. So there's those type of players. Not necessarily because he was an Arsenal player, but we know he's moving on, and I think good move for him. Back to France, come find back his best football, but Kamara, who is, could say in a similar position, definitely defensive-minded. It can play centre-back, and we had to ward off a few teams. Obviously, there's no longer showing interest, but, other top teams in the league and throughout Spain and Italy as well, the top European leagues, there's about 7 or 8 teams that were interested in him, and I think it was about 4 or 5 that had bids. I wasn't expecting us to get accepted. That case, especially that I didn't offer him a huge deal. It was just kind of what he wanted and then getting rid of, like a wage rise and stuff. So I was pretty content that he joined us, and I think a friend, is an Arsenal type signing, even if he's not, rumored to join in real life or anything. But a French, hey, Guendouzi going back to France, and we're getting another, and let alone from the same club. So I really like the look of him. He's got very strong attributes. He's real quick, but his defensive attributes are so good, where he has good passing as well. So he could easily be like that DM, and still pretty creative. His mix of attributes are so good. He could be a ball-playing defender, most definitely. But the fact he's got the good defensive attributes, but then 15 passing and 14 vision, he's really creative. Those are attributes where you look for a youngster. He's 22, and if they were just seen as a playmaking type, you'd be happy with. He's got good playmaking attributes for a defensive-minded player. That's really exciting. So now we are just going to review, who's been the players that have stood out and help us help us to be in this position right now, 4th in the Premier League, and looking like to get Arsenal back in the Champions League if we keep up this form. Leno, we're not going to, he's had a few good games, admittedly. I wanted to use him in a few here or there, but I've used him, twice in the Cup. So twice in the FA Cup, twice in the Carabao Cup, which we didn't go probably too far in, but we were prioritising. That's maybe why we used him there. You can see the selection reasoning. But, that's what he's kind of there. You might say 100k and, keep him on, but, you don't know if it's possible to sell him. He's probably a bit much for a backup keeper, but, hey, he's good for a backup, and obviously, again, just to sort by the position, so you see the difference in the ability. Ramsdale is much better, and he's on a lower wage. He's probably going to be... I'm surprised he doesn't have a complaint that he wants a new contract, but you don't complain about that until he actually wants that. You just kind of take it on, and you keep playing until he kind of requests it. So that's kind of... you're probably maybe try and get something for Leno if you can. There's that talk where he's on a decent wage, but you never know. It's funny, Martinelli's on that point, and he's on 40k. So, but he's still relatively fine. But we will probably go address that. He's been all right though. Take a look at that. Is that level? We've used him a lot. I've really liked his games. He's been able to find the back of the net. We'll see by the goal scorers as well. And a few other names, defensive players, a few defenders in there, so we don't need to take too much into their goals or assist stats. But Lacazette, 26 in all competitions. I think, I don't think there's a reason to defend him other than that, for saying, why we gave him a new contract. I think he can show the same impact and output next season unless we have a signing to replace him, and he won't get as much game time. Obviously, we've relied heavy on him. And Martinelli, 18 and then 7 assists. But that's where you just look at Lacazette. Crazy, man. Like, look, go to compare the assists. He's got the most goals, most assists. Look at this. Clear-cut chances. Look at that. You got Martinelli. That's a really interesting one. Or the chances created. Same thing. Amount of chances created for the team, which makes sense. That's still a good amount. But generally the midfielders, guys in a wing or a central position, will have that. That's the chances created, not always going down as an assist individually. And then key passes for the team. Martin deserves a point out. Yeah, he deserves an attribute click. And look at those attributes going up for a couple reasons now. We're focusing on him. He's been a very reliable player. Even though he hasn't got high goals, high assists. So the fact where he's got over a 7 average rating in the league individually is pretty good. It's very impressive because he's had a good overall game. That's what I like to look in my players. Players that are not getting the most goals and assists, but are still getting good ratings and getting good stats as well. As I said, like the key passes and chances created are very important stats to me. And the fact he's been growing like this, Martin Odegaard is a very, very exciting player. So here, guys, just for this episode today, just a youth intake episode, but we gave a bit of a review in terms of how the players are going. Signing coming in from Marseille, Camaro is very exciting. Youth intake players, and see, I didn't want to completely splash all of our budget. We could have maybe put a bit more, like the transfer, chuck it in the wage, but I didn't want to, use it all. That's a nice amount to leave it on, where we'll get an intake for next season as well. Intake, funnily enough. Not a youth intake, but it's like, look at that player stats. Lacazette been amazing. But just to let you guys know, I'm still not 100%. My vision is not 100% at the moment in terms of recovering what I've been dealing with. But I'm slowly progressing. So hopefully you guys understand it through this part. I definitely, this part of the year, I guess. I want to get better, definitely, by the time, the new games drop. We're going to get to that a bit later in the year. So, obviously, I've got my journeyman that I'm doing as well. And, hopefully you guys are still staying tuned on the channel. I know it's not the most active time, but it's a bit of a recovery time for me as well. So, hopefully you guys understand that. Maybe you can tell with that as well. Maybe I'm not as... Obviously, we're not playing a game, so I'm not getting my emotions and getting excited and stuff, but... you can probably tell I'm not 100%. But anyway, hopefully you still enjoyed the episode and you liked the youth intake. There's a lot more to come. From here, we're just going to play up to the end of the season. There's no real important... What's the last game? Wolves. We have to wait and see if it's going to be important, if it's going to be a top 4 clincher or not, or if we will do that. Or if we will have done that, before that last game. So, Liverpool look to be running away with the title. I think, at least in the save, they've got enough over City. They've got the game in hand, depends if they win that or not. We've got a game away against them as well. So, that could be important from their side of things. Anyway, I'm going to leave it from now. If you could leave a thumbs up on the video, is greatly appreciated. Especially at a time in the moment. Get a comment in for me to read as well. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are pushing on, we're about to hit, I think in July, we hit 10 years on YouTube. So, it's been a long time making these FM videos. I think out of the current creators, I'm one of the longest standing. In terms of the ones making videos when I started, I think Work the Space. Shout out to Work the Space. He was the only other one that I saw making videos when I started back then. So... it's interesting to see how the scene's developed, but I could talk about that more in a video I'll make for 10 years on YouTube. But anyway, I'll leave that there for now, and I'll see you guys next time.